What's new in the NFL this season? First ever NFL Week 18 regular season games, NFL playoffs with 6 wildcard games, including a Monday night wildcard game, and WagerTalk and Sports Memo handicappers lowering the price for the NFL playoffs. Last season, the NFL playoff pass was priced at $149, but this year, not only have we lowered the NFL playoff price to $119, but included NFL Week 18 for free. That's right, for $119, you get the final week of the regular season, plus the NFL playoffs through the Super Bowl on February 13, 2022, including any 5% best bets. No coupon code is needed. Just go to your favorite handicappers page at WagerTalk and Sports Memo and choose the NFL playoff pass in the football dropdown. And don't forget, if you buy before this weekend, get the remainder of the NFL regular season included for free.
Hey guys, welcome in, and a happy Thursday to you here. January the 6th, 2022, and we got 4 games in the association tonight. We're going to touch base with all of them here today, see if we can't find a couple of edges, couple of plays that we like, and we will do it with, of course, the original OG NBA tip-off show crew here back in action on this Thursday. Ski Profit in the house, as is Rob Vino. And Mr. Tony Finn hanging with us here today as we try and take a look here at the at a nice card. But if we take a look back at the card last night there, Ski, talk to me here, man. What was the night like? We were both loving the return of Kyrie right up until the point where Indiana screwed us. But what do you got locked and loaded here tonight in the NBA or college hoops for that matter?
Yesterday I went backwards again. That was a tough ending to that Brooklyn game. Yeah. Tonight I have one play that I've made already. I'm looking at a couple others. We'll see if I get to the window with them. And just trying to keep pushing along. I think the last 182 plays dropped below 60% after yesterday, down to 58.7%. So let's get back on track.
Yeah, we can do it. It's a ever-changing landscape. That is for sure with what's going on here in the association. We do have the 4:30 report just coming out now, so we'll let you guys know here who's in, who's out, what it says. And Rob Vino, how was the evening last night, my friend? What do you got locked and loaded for us tonight at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, the evening last night was very average. 3 good, 3 bad. One of the bad was the Brooklyn game. So, like you guys, I mean, why waste your time coming all the way back, late third into the fourth, Brooklyn, if that's what you're going to do at the end? But I can't blame it on Brooklyn because Indiana got a little eager with that layup at the end. And then another one, not to say that it would have won, but, I had one hope with San Antonio, Boston over, and that was Boston could potentially steal an inbounds and drive down the court and with limited time, and instead of going for 3, shoot a 2. Lo and behold, they get the steal. Jaylen Brown gets all the way to the rim and blows the overtime layup. So that game ended 99-97. Otherwise, there were some really good spots last night. Found them again. 50-50 coin flips. Sometimes they don't go your way. Tonight, we're up and loaded with a 4% best bet. WagerTalk.com.
All right, absolutely here tonight, and I love some of these games here tonight on the card. Tony Finn, welcome back, my man. Happy New Year. We haven't had a chance to see you yet, but has your week been, and what do you got locked and loaded for folks tonight?
Yesterday was pretty good for me. I 3-0 in college, which was really what I needed to. I needed to, straighten my act a little bit in the college realm. In the NBA realm, I had 3 plays and I had 3 props and 4-2. So ended up picking up 4 or 5 units. Terrific stuff. If I could only do that every 5 minutes, we might be able to pay back the back taxes. So let's pick some winners.
Yeah, let's do it here. You and the taxes. I love it the way he's coming in there. All right, guys. So let's start here. We'll touch base on all of these games, but we're going to make one of them a contrarian play of the day simply because the overreaction is out of control. And it doesn't happen often, but we are actually looking at a contrarian favorite here tonight with the Golden State Warriors laying a point now. This down from 6.5, 7 there earlier this morning. And then, of course, the news of Steph and also Draymond apparently will not be in this game. They are playing, let me remind everyone, the New Orleans Pelicans. And this is now dropped to almost a pick 'em. So 5.5, 6-point drop here. Ski, might I interest you in a little Warrior contrarian spot here as an almost pick 'em against the hell no New Orleans Pelicans?
And this is pretty funny, Joe, just because I come on here all the time, and I always say I don't want to bet against the Warriors. But now you take out Steph and Draymond, and I'm like, oh, I'll think about it. And of course, it's a contrarian play of the day. So, I don't know, man. I know they still got. I mean, it's not like the whole entire team is just Steph and Draymond, but they are a big part. I'll say I don't want my money on the Pelicans. I can agree. Right. I can agree with that. So I'll go with the contrarian play today, just for that.
It's just simply, Rob, we saw this a million times last year. We've seen it a bunch of times this year. The market overreaction to a guy or two that's in or it's out. We have seen this Golden State team without Steph. We've seen it without Draymond. We've seen it without them both. They've done a pretty good job here in the absence of one or two of those guys. So do you have enough faith in New Orleans to just to boat race the Golden State Warriors tonight, or do you think they've got some value now at near a pick-em?
Well, I'll say this. If you're looking for reasons to play Golden State and play the contrarian side, they can't shoot any worse than they shot last night from the field. I don't care who's on the floor. And in fact, you're going to probably I think you're getting Otto Porter back in the lineup here. Pretty good three-point shooter, pretty good scorer. So starting lineup, there's three guys very capable, Porter Jr., Wiggins, and Jordan Poole. Gary Payton II has shown flashes as well. The bench will be thin, but Damian Lee, Felicia, guys who can score. So if you're looking to back the Warriors, that's your probably your positive. Shot the ball lousy last night, have shooters on the floor tonight. New Orleans is not a great defensive team. Going to have to defend Valanciunas. Other than that, they probably can match up bucket for bucket in what could end up being somewhat of a track meet in this game because you don't have a lot of bigs on the floor for Golden State. I would probably, Joe, since they're off the loss and the kind of loss that they had last night to Dallas, which they were never really in that game, I would probably lean towards Golden State tonight, the contrarian side.
Yeah, I mean, it was not good last night shooting the ball there, Tony Finn, and they've got an opportunity to wipe that out there. Listen, we've backed Wiggins and Jordan Poole with no Curry on the floor in the past, and outside of Draymond, I'm looking Draymond and Clay on the 430. That's it. I mean, they've got pretty much everybody else healthy to go, and so is New Orleans for that matter. So, is there any value to you to back the contrarian gods here and take the Golden State Warriors to rebound?
Well, my dog play today was New Orleans. So I would say no. I would say this. Draymond is pretty key, I think, in this game. If we know we're not getting Curry, he's not even anywhere to be seen to get props on. And I trust a couple of the sites I use. If they don't have props on a player, there's a better chance than not that Curry's not going to be there unless he's already been ruled out. I heard he was questionable. Maybe he's already been ruled out. But when Draymond's in the game, guys, and you have Wiggins, listen, when Wiggins and Poole are on the floor together, without Curry, this is a +4, +5 net rating team. Actually better than some of the other lineups, but it's really dependent on Draymond being in there too. So this is kind of now we're in a conundrum. Maybe I should go with we can do this. I'll take Golden State in the contrarian play, and then my dog of the day will be New Orleans.
I love it. Yeah, that won't be hypocritical at all. Will not be hypocritical at all. Let me ask you real quick, though, here, Robino. The total went from 220 down to 2. We've lost 10 points in this game here. Is that an overreaction in your opinion?
Yeah, don't wreck it for me, Joe. We got another segment coming up.
All right, never mind. All right, no, that's good. All right, so fine. No problem. We'll move on then. Warriors, guys, is who we're looking at, the very rare, small favorite, contrarian play of the day. All right, we'll move on. Next game here, a featured matchup tonight, which should also be pretty good. I think we'll head to, is it New York? I think we'll head to New York and talk about the Celtics and the Knicks. Now, this opened up with Boston as a small 1-point favorite. That has been bet up to 2, even 2.5 in some spots. The total has come down a little bit here to 208, 209, somewhere in that ballpark. Ski, tell me your thoughts about the New York Knicks at home against the Boston team that was, wow, embarrassed by the G League San Antonio Spurs last night. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. I'll tell you that. When I first looked at this game, the first thing that I thought is, it's got to be an under game because both teams, a lot of my handicapping is how teams are doing lately. Last 5 games, they're bottom 5 in pace. They're top 5 defensive rated teams. The Knicks, their games are averaging less than 200 points over that 2-week span. So that was my initial lean here. But then, I just think about their last game. They shot 21% from 3. Celtics in their last game, they didn't shoot it that well. I think they shot 32% from 3. I just think this number kind of is getting too low for a Celtics game. They've gone over this 208, 207.5 number, whatever it is now. 13 of the last 16 games. The over is 5-2 without rest for the Celtics. So the more I think about it, I just think both of these teams shoot better than their last game, and they can probably get up and over the number.
So it's interesting here, Rob, because some of those comments after the game from the Celtics, they were pissed. They're healthier than they've been in a while. They were not pleased. Jaylen Brown was the one who rimmed out that final layup there. So what do you think? They've done a pretty good job of bouncing back on a second of a back-to-back this year. You trust them here at the Garden to take care of business?
Should be pretty good, Joe. I'm going to follow along the lines where Ski started this and the total's concerned. Boston 6-2 under the number, their last 8 games. However, that 6-2 turns right around to become 6-2 over the number we're asked to play tonight, 208.5. Boston's gone over that 6 of their last 8 games. So, when you're playing an under 231 and getting to 230, that's why these under-over stats or against the spread stats can be a little misleading at times. Boston has handled this type of number. They've handled it through injury-riddled situation. As you mentioned, they're as healthy as they've been. New York, through an injury-riddled situation. Julius Randle just came back and scored 30 points the other night. So to me, I feel like you should play over, but there's just something about, I'll go way back to the beginning of the season. Brown and Tatum in the same lineup together, and opening totals for Boston were just being slammed to the under. And I could never figure out why, but those games were going under. And as soon as Tatum came back last night, they play another under, 99-97, without a heck of a lot of potential for points to be scored. I'm going to give you some context here. Last night in the Boston-San Antonio game, there was potential for 424 points if everything went through the net. They took, in that game, 178 total shots. The Houston-Washington game took 2 shots less, only 176. And they had potential for 51 points more, 475. So I'm like, how the hell does that happen? They must not have shot any threes in the Boston game. That's not true. But what's true is if you go to the free throw stats last night, San Antonio shoots 5 foul shots. Boston shoots 9. Boston's got to get more aggressive if they're going to beat anybody. You can't be 8 for 9. 8 for 9 is great shooting, but with the guys they have on the floor, they have to shoot more free throws. I think there's more contact in this game tonight just because of who the Knicks are. To me, I still slightly lean over the total. It has been bumped to 208.5.
All right, so it has been bumped here. Yeah, it certainly has. And Tony Finn, talk to me here, my man. I would love to back the Knicks here. I'd love to believe in them, but I've lost enough money with Ski on the Knicks never to play them again. So talk to me here about the Celtics in a rebound spot. You like the total? You like the side?
Well, I'll say this. Julius Randle, Ski mentioned the 30 points. The truth is, and we have plenty of possessions to base this on this year, and that is when Julius Randle is on the floor, this Knicks team is actually worse offensively and worse defensively this year. When he's off the floor, New York's got a plus 13.1. And their defensive and efficiency, offensive efficiency, is 88th to 93rd percentile for the qualified lineups. It's hard to believe. Now, granted, what they did against Indiana's backcourt was pretty depleted. Okay, the COVID injuries, et cetera. So that's not the case with Boston. I like Boston here tonight. I think that if Julius Randle's in there, and the metrics are, and let's just say all things being equal, those metrics present themselves. I think Boston's a pretty good buy low here, in truth, at -1. Their backcourt's healthy, and despite the fact that they might be a little leg weary, I like Boston here, guys.
All right, definitely looking at the Boston Celtics here tonight, guys, and a pretty good opportunity to be able to get the job done in the Garden. So we'll move on to yet another game here tonight on the board, and I do believe we're going to head to Memphis here to take a look at Detroit and the red-hot Memphis Grizzlies. And Ski, what more can we say? John Morant called game the other night against Cleveland, was like, enough of this already. Now, Detroit, after getting beat by 130 points last night, come limping in here to take on this red-hot team. So what do you think, man? You give Detroit any chance of a bounce back at 12.5 right now we're looking?
Well, I wouldn't bet Memphis, and the reason I wouldn't is because in this kind of spread range, for me, when I expect people to win by margin like this, you got to do three things well, and that's shoot the three well, defend the three well, and rebound. And to me, Memphis only does one of those things, which is rebound. So I get it. Detroit hasn't been that great. I think they've been okay as, double-digit dog. So I'll lean that way in this game as far as the spread is. For the total, Detroit is top 5 in pace over the last 5 games. And I'm looking at Detroit the last 2 weeks. Their games are averaging more like 227. Memphis averaging 219, and you have 218 as a total tonight. I just think maybe it's a little bit low. So I lean Detroit in this game plus the points and up and over the total.
Yeah, that was Detroit has at least played some defense here, Tony Finn, in the last couple of, especially since getting Cunningham back. Now, obviously, Jackson Grant, I believe, Corey Joseph is close, Isaiah Stewart is close. They've got reinforcements coming, but that was so lopsided last night here where, what do you think here? You think maybe Memphis looks a little bit ahead, looks a little bit past them tonight? Any value on backing the dog here?
I'll say this, and that I was on. Listen, I agree with you. This Detroit, I think, has been a live dog, especially double digits, and without Grant, and without Frank Jackson, their metrics are fine. They really are. They don't lose a lot without Grant, and surprisingly, without Frank, they actually pick up a couple points in a net rating, but they didn't. Here's the deal. We continue to say how bad, how poor, how horrible Charlotte is defensively. And their numbers are horrible, guys. They have outscored their pathetic defense, and they continue to get wins, continue to put up big numbers, continue to get covers. But it's hard for me right now me, how I feel about Memphis. I think they're a fraud. I think they're a mirage. And they're 14-6 against the spread rating in the last 20 games is one of the best covers in the NBA, but they're a damn mirage, right? And you keep telling me, when's this mirage going to end? This is probably not the best time to step in front of Memphis, a team that can score, Detroit struggles to score. I surely can't lay 12.5 with Memphis. But after last night, one of my losses, one of my of my in my side place was Detroit, and they kept coming back. They kept coming back there at the end. Wow, Oubre just shooting from half court, isn't he? Oubre is on fire right now, and when he's playing like that, Charlotte's pretty tough whether they can play defense or not. I would have to say this: if I'm going to be in this room, guys, I'm on Memphis, and I can't do it. 12.5 is a big number to lay with a team, as Ski said, that just doesn't shoot the ball that well.
It's amazing. They've been a covering machine, Memphis, here since right around November, December. I mean, they've been crazy covering, and I think a lot of that, Rob, has to do with Memphis's ability to actually play some defense. Finally, what do you think? What do you think their chances are tonight to get the cover or go over the total?
Yeah, well, I think the injury report has a lot to do with it, Joe. And we're talking about Desmond Bane, Dillon Brooks, DeAnthony Melton. There's a lot of Memphis guys on that either questionable or doubtful side of the board here tonight, which when I went over this morning, I think it limits their offense more than anything. Dillon Brooks, obviously the best defender on the team. He hasn't played in a few games. I don't know if he'll get back here tonight or not. He's got the question mark next to him. While I talk for just a couple of seconds here, I'm going to look to Ski because I don't keep last five defensive numbers on Memphis. I mean, I've got defensive field goal percentages allowed by Memphis over the course of their last 11 games. Go ahead, Tone.
101.7.
Yeah,
the eighth defensive rated team.
Yeah, eighth. Yep.
Okay. The point is they've been playing it.
Yeah,
really good defensively, right? Last 11 games they've played, they've allowed teams to shoot 46% twice. 9 times out of the last 11, they've held you under 46. And Detroit's not a straight shooting team to begin with. I mean, they've had their moments their last 2 games, but if you go back, they're not shooting the ball and haven't shot it well all year long. Now, I get they're pretty whole again, and all their guys are in the lineup, but they're still very young. I could see Memphis's defense, especially with Detroit on back-to-backs being a factor here. I could see Memphis's offense being limited because of the people on the injury report. A couple of those guys are really key scorers. Desmond Bane has been tremendous for this team. And Detroit, in back-to-back situations this year, they've had 4 where they've played a back-to-back against a rested opponent, and they're 3-1 under the total. In those games, the numbers were 190, 186, and 207. So I think I'd probably lean under 208 in this one. Again, a lot has to do with the injury report, but I like Memphis's defense as of late. I think they can contain Detroit, and I don't know that Memphis will go crazy. You know, when you allow 140 like Detroit did last night, there's got to be a little pride to play pretty good defense the next night. So I'll look for under 218.
All right, looking for an under in this one. And as of 4:30, guys, it appears Brooks questionable, Dillon Brooks, DeAnthony Melton questionable, and in fact, Desmond Bane, Kyle Anderson both doubtful in this game here tonight for the Memphis Grizz. All right, that leaves us one other game here on the board tonight. And wow, look at that, a little out west here is the Phoenix Suns. They've got their own COVID issues here, but they're home taking on the LA Clippers. A dozen is what the number is, and I think still remains. Actually, I'm sorry, the Clippers have been getting some love. 10.5s now across the board. 221. Even the total starting to increase here, Ski. So do you agree with the market movement towards Phoenix here? Towards the Clippers, rather.
I was going to say, I think I do here. You know, Clippers off 2 days rest, so slightly more rested team here. They're off a pretty bad loss to the Timberwolves. I think it was close to 20 points. And, I mean, you're missing rim protection for both teams in this one. I just think, you know, it's going to be kind of easy for Clippers to score. And 10.5 points or 11 points, I just feel like in this game, Phoenix wants to get in and win and get out. So I lean towards taking the Clippers to be competitive off that loss. And for the total, you know, I agree with it going up. Like I said already, it's no real rim protection for either team. Again, I mean, I can look at it the other way and say, I wish Ayton was in there to take advantage of the Clippers down low. But 5 of the last 6 games, Phoenix has cleared this number that we're looking at today. 4 of the last 5, Clippers have cleared this number. I think I would play the Clippers plus the points, and I would go up and over the total.
All right, so he agrees with both sides of the market move there. Rob, Vino, how about you here? You agree with the market movement?
I think I could lean Clippers in what I think, Joe, should be high scoring. Again, I've had success playing overs the last week or so with both of these teams for reasons that Ski just laid out. I mean, for Phoenix, it's not just DeAndre Ayton. I mean, any type of muscle that they have is gone from this game, right? And it's been gone for a couple of games now, and it's shown up in these finals. They have turned into an extreme up-tempo team and an extreme high-scoring team without DeAndre Ayton, without Jay Crowder for muscle, without JaVale McGee to protect the rim. I won't mention Frank Kaminsky as a rim protector, but another big body, right? All the big bodies are gone. What they have on the floor, Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jalen Smith defending the rim, kid from Maryland, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and then the bench, Campaign and Elfrid Payton with Biyombo. It's a fast-paced team, and the same goes for the Clippers. It's the exact same thing without Zubats in the middle, without any of their big guys, Terrence Mann, Morris, Ibaka, Bledsoe, Reggie Jackson. That's your starting 5. The bench brings no interior presence whatsoever as far as defense. So, I mean, to me, up and down, score your points. Surprised the market didn't react a little stronger than it has toward the total, but I think you probably get over, and I think the Clippers can survive in a higher scoring game against this team tonight.
All right, so we definitely see some points here tonight, Tony Finn. What do you see? It's been hard to back the Clippers once Paul George has gone down here, and of course they're dealing with their own COVID issues over the last month. So what do you think about this matchup? Do you think we're going to see points?
Well, I would say yes to that, typically, normally. However, with no Kennard, I don't know where the Clippers get their points from, truthfully. And I agree with Rob. This with no bigs in the game, Ibaka is going to be able to play, but really with no bigs in the game, no quality and mobile bigs, I think it would be a track meet. I think it benefits Phoenix to go into a track meet scheme because without George, the defensive rating is 112, almost 113 points per 100, -5 net rating for this Clippers team. And truthfully, even without Ayton, Crowder, Kaminsky, McGee, Nader, Shamet, all those Shamet, here's the deal. They still have guys that can score. I mean, Bridges, Booker, Paul, Johnson, Jalen Smith. I really like Phoenix here tonight, despite the fact that they're missing their bigs and Crowder, their muscle, as these guys have talked to. The Suns -14, I'm pretty good with, and at 11, I think they're buy low. The matchup just speaks to what these guys said up and down the court, but where do the Clippers get their points?
All right, good stuff there, guys. So I'm going to take a guess here. We'll do it a little bit differently. I'll start and ask each of you guys an overtime game here, maybe one that you're looking at the total. Sounds like maybe you're looking at the Clippers here, Ski, as the game that you think most likely to go over tonight.
If we're going to talk about overtime, it's usually like when it's going up, right, and stuff like that. So I do think the Clippers and Phoenix is the one that fits that for today.
All right. How about it, Rob? You agree? Are the Clippers and Phoenix the game most likely to go over here?
I think it probably is, Joe. I think it is. We laid out all the reasons, so I won't dwell on it. We'll just get right to Tony Finn and see if he can match up with us.
Yeah, I mean, Finn, are you you liked Phoenix, Finn, but do you think this game's got a good shot, or is there another game you think is more likely to go over tonight?
Listen, I think if this Clippers-Suns game goes over the total, I think it's because the Suns put up 125. That 120, 120. That's the only way I see it going over. I would probably go. Let's jump over to the game we talked about. I think this game with the Warriors and the Pelicans can go over this number.
Okay.
Not Curry's out, and their net rating, guys, isn't very good without Curry. However, I just like what Wiggins. I like what they're doing as a team, even without Curry. And if there's no Draymond, then there's less defense for this Golden State team, and maybe Ingram and Dante Graham can put up 20 apiece, and we go over the total in that game.
All right, so there's another one there, possibly with the Golden State in New Orleans dropping down from 220 to 210.5 right now in the marketplace. So let's talk some best bets here, guys, and of course that can include a dog of any one of these that you may like here, Ski. So we'll start back up with you. 60 seconds on the clock. What's your best bet here tonight for this?
Man, this card is pretty tricky. For my best bet, I'm gonna go to a player prop, and I'm just trying to make sure it's still available here.
Albert. No, he ain't playing that.
Hey, he fell off yesterday. He only had 2 assists yesterday, but yeah, he's not playing today. I'm gonna go to that same game that Tony Fan was talking about, Warriors and Pelicans, and I like Valanciunas earlier. Like I was looking at it, I think he's the guy who's gonna have success every time he plays them. He pretty much kills them. He played him earlier this season. I think he had 20 points, 15 rebounds. He's had 15 or more rebounds the last 6 times they played. He averages 12 rebounds on the season. His rebound prop is 11.5 today. I think he gets up and over that number.
All right, going Valanciunas up and over here tonight. Not going to be a whole lot of competition there. So, all right, Robino, talk to us here. 60 seconds on the clock. Where might you be going here tonight as a best bet?
Yeah, I probably let you know earlier, Joe, when I said don't wreck it for me. Tony alluded to it a little bit. Ski gave another reason. But at some point, you have to step in and play this game over. This thing's going from 220 to 210.5. And I can't, I get it. We see this every day, Joe. We've talked about it for 3 years. These injury fear mongers come out, and if a named guy is out, the game gets pushed under. They have no regard for the lack of defense that's on the floor. They have no regard for other guys being able to score when they bet these games this strong. At 210.5, if you're telling me Golden State New Orleans can't play a 106-105 game with the scores on the floor, there's something wrong here. Brandon Ingram will not have Draymond Green in his shorts guarding him. Right. And Valanciunas, like Ski said, should have a pretty good night against Looney. Golden State's a good defensive team, but they lose a lot of their defense when Draymond goes by the wayside. So give me over 210.5 Golden State New Orleans.
All right, boom, going over tonight in the Golden State New Orleans matchup. So Tony Finn, you are up, my man. 60 seconds. Tell us which one of these games you lean to as a best bet.
I'm going to throw in a couple of props too, but I'm going to go to Boston. I'm going to go to Boston. I'm going to go to New York, and I'm going to take the Celtics, like I said earlier, by low. Really, this Boston offense has been in a funk. 108 for 100 possessions. They've been stuck on 2 and 4 straight up, 2 and 4 against the number, and it looks like to me that Julius Randle is going to play, and if that's the case, then he's still a little bit of an enigma in this team, and I still don't think the Knicks really have an identity. Give me Boston minus the number, and on top of that, let's go to real quickly, Devontae Graham over 20.5 with no Curry. I like Devontae Graham over 20.5 points, rebounds, assists, and as Rob said, I like Ingram over 32.5 with no bigs. If no Draymond Green's in there, those two guys, those two props in that game probably puts that game over, like Rob said, and Celtics -2.
All right, there you go. A lot of stuff there. 4 games on the board here, guys. A lot of different ways. It is a tricky card here, as Ski said, but there is some value here on the board tonight. So to recap, one more time for you here, guys. Some of the plays that these guys are looking at, including Ski with Valanciunas over 11.5 rebounds. He better get 11.5 rebounds. Rob Vino, Warriors, Pelicans over the 210.5 as the overreaction continues in the NBA. While Tony Finn likes the Celtics at the Garden as a short road favorite, he also likes Devontae Graham over the 20.5 points, rebounds, and assist prop, while our contrarian play of the day also piggybacking over the overreaction. No Steph, no Draymond. Only one. Give us the Warriors as our contrarian play of the day. Keep in mind, guys, obviously, best bets always available right now at WagerTalk.com. Check out exactly what these guys have locked and loaded there for today and beyond. Visit Ski Profits page. Of course, visit Rob Dino and Tony Finn as they are locked and loaded across the board, guys. College hoops, NBA, NFL, national championship game. There's a lot going on here, a lot of ways to make it a profitable Thursday, but it starts with you guys heading over and visiting them at WagerTalk.com. All right, there you got it. 4 games on the card. Guys, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Make plans to join us again tomorrow for the Friday edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show as we get you ready for a big weekend on the hardwood. Until then, on behalf of Ski, Rob, and Tony, guys, appreciate you hanging with us. Best of luck with your plays tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Have you ever wanted to create your own handicapping dream team? You can now build your own superstar handicapping lineup using our Pick Your Team program at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. Even more exciting, until Sunday, January 16th at midnight, you can save 15% off your Pick Your Team using coupon code PYT15 when checking out. Dave Koken, Marco D'Angelo, and Ralph Michaels, John Ryan, Joseph D'Amico, and Rocket Man. The combinations are endless, and you can choose up to 5 handicappers. You start saving once you choose any 2 handicappers of your choice, and you can pay as little as under $6 per handicapper. Who will make your dream lineup? Just go to WagerTalk or Sports Memo, click Pick Your Team, and personally hand-select your handicapping roster. Don't forget, coupon code PYT15 will expire January 16th, so make sure to get your 15% discount.